Yo, what is up, y'all? What is up, pre-doctor of physical therapy students group? On this video, on this live stream, I want to talk to you guys about how I was thinking the time I was rejected and the time I reapplied to PT school, and how this thinking, I believed, got me accepted into physical therapy school. So I want to talk to you guys about how my train of thought was the second time I applied, and how this thinking and how I believe this thinking re-transformed my mindset and set off a switch that I got accepted that second time with no hiccups. Who we got joining us? What's going on? Jordan, what's going on? Shanahan, thanks for joining me, guys. What's going on? Kyle Rice, what's going on? Thanks for joining me, boss. Jessica, thanks for joining me, guys. So on this video, what's going on? Calvante, I think I got it. Calvante, what's going on, my man? So I want to talk to you guys about the thinking that I was going through the second time I applied. So the thinking, or my mindset, kind of changed when I started thinking about others. Now, it doesn't sound as good as, I'm making it sound. When you hear thinking of others, you're like, oh wow, this guy was really generous. He was thinking about others getting in. No. I was thinking about, what are others going through, or what are others thinking about at the same time as when I'm applying? So for example, I was thinking about, okay, I have to apply again, or I have to put the work in. These other people, I talked about competition on the last video. You guys just scroll down in the group and look for it. These guys who are applying next to me are my competition. What are they thinking about? They're not really caring about if I get in or not, because they have their own stuff to worry about, correct? So in that case, if these other people have their own stuff to worry about, if they're not crying for me because I'm not getting in, because they're trying to get in themselves, I have to take a look back at myself and figure out, how hard is my situation, and what am I really going through compared to others that are my competition, compared to others that are in other degree fields, compared to others that are in a worse situation than me, compared to others, and I can go down the list to the point where, like, others in poverty, others without food, people with no house. I went down that list to see, where am I at, and how hard really is my situation reapplying to physical therapy school? What am I really going through compared to others that, are my peers right now, are my competition, and others, even down the line if you get to what I just talked about. So in that case, I had to kind of switch some things and say, what am I really drowning in? So that's what I really want to talk to you guys about. What was I really drowning in my pre-PT journey at that time, back in, I think it was 2014-ish, 15-ish. So I want to ask you guys, what are you really drowning in this cycle? Like, what's really hard for you? Like, what's really the problem? And are you really drowning in 10 feet deep of water? Are you really drowning in an ocean where you can't touch the floor? Or are you really only drowning in 2 or 3 feet of water? And I want you guys to think about that. Are you really only drowning in 2 or 3 feet of water? Have you guys seen those, like, those YouTube videos or those memes or anything like that, when somebody can't swim and they get pushed in the water, or they trip and fall in some water, and they're just flailing around, and they can't stand up, and they can't do this, and they're screaming, and they're and they can't like seem to grasp that all they really have to do is stand up. All they really have to do is get their footing, stand up, then they could breathe. That the water is really only up to their waist, or only up to their knees. Have you seen those videos? And that's what I think about a lot of times, not just when I was reapplying, or not just when I was applying to PT school the first time even. I think about that a lot when I see the questions come through this group, and the questions into my personal messenger, questions into our pre-PT grind messenger as well. What are you really struggling with, and is it really that hard? Or is it really drowning you? Is it really that big a deal? Or can you really just ask for some help? Or can you really just reevaluate your situation and simply stand up? Is it just that you can't swim right now? Is it just that you don't know the proper strokes? Is it that you can't tread water? Is it that you need help, because we have help right here? Is it because you don't even know what water is? What are you really going through? And that's what really changed my mindset when I was applying the first time and even the second time. What was I really drowning in? And was it really that much that I had to go through? For example, I told this story before, but if you're new, welcome to the Pre-PT Grind group, or the Pre-Doctor of Physical Therapy Students group on Facebook. And if you haven't heard this before, I had to reapply the second time, and when I did, I had to sit down with my advisor, of course, and go through all the classes that I need to figure out and say, okay, I got to retake this, bump up my grades here, so on and so forth. And once I figured that out, I had to act. I had to put in some execution, right? So at that time, I could have said, man, I got to retake however many classes. I got to retake this and that. I got to pay all this money. I got to work an extra job. I got to wait another year. I'm losing out on this salary. I'll be in this much more debt. Man, I got it so bad. Nobody has it worse than me. Man, why is nobody feeling sorry for me? Why is nobody crying out and reaching out for help? Why is nobody asking me, like, how am I feeling? Why is nobody? Because they had their own stuff to worry about. The same people on this video, if you're going through something, they're not crying for you, because first, they're your competition, and second of all, they got to apply themselves. They're trying to get into PT school themselves. So that's number one. When you feel like you're drowning, when you feel like you're going through everything, the next person on this live stream or in this group of thousands of pre-PTs are going through the same thing, and they're trying to help themselves. They can't extend a helping hand because they're crying. They're going through their own stuff. Have you heard this saying that nobody's really crying for you because they have their own stuff to cry about? Like, nobody's worried about you because they have their own stuff to worry about? That was the same shift that happened to me. I was like, nobody's going to cry for me. Nobody's going to take this quiz. Nobody's going to take this GRE for me. Nobody's going to reapply. Nobody's going to wake up at the butt crack of dawn and go to work to pay for this class because they got their own stuff. And once I figured that out, that everybody's trying to get ahead, everybody's trying to figure their own life out, everybody's got their own situations, I figured out that what Joseph talked about last night really was that it was really all on me to go all out and put in all the work. Who we got on here? What's up? Anand, Yeslin, Alex, what's going on? Anthony, thanks for joining, guys. Brock, what's going on? So yeah, that was a huge shift for me. I had to figure out that nobody was crying for my situation because they were crying about their own, or they had their own stuff to worry about. So once I did that, that really put into perspective that, am I really going through a lot? Yeah, I gotta apply again. Yeah, I gotta retake some classes. But somebody has it worse than me. Somebody has 3 kids who are applying to PT school. Somebody has no house. Somebody has no money who has a dream of becoming a physical therapist. Somebody has to retake 5 classes. Somebody has a worse GPA than me. I'm not drowning in nothing. All I have to do is stand up and I can breathe. All I have to do is reach out for help and I can do it. All I have to do is get my footing and I can figure it out. All I have to do is ask the right people to learn how to swim and I can get into physical therapy school. So that was the change. That was the thinking that got me into physical therapy school. I figured out that I was really only drowning in 3 feet of water. I figured out that I was only drowning in 2 feet of water. And all I really had to do was stand up, put in the work, get things in order, and boom, I was accepted just like that. Just like that. So I know a lot of times you're going through a lot. I understand. I was there. Trust me. If I wasn't there, I would not be wearing this shirt right now. So I totally get it. That it feels like the world is crashing, that you don't have enough time, you don't have enough money, you don't have the support, nobody's looking out for you, nobody cares, I get it. But at the same time, are you really going through that much compared to others? At the same time, can you really just learn how to swim? At the same time, can you really just reach out and ask for help? At the same time, can you stand up and figure out that you're only drowning in 3 feet of water? At the same time, can you stand up and only figure out that I just have to ace this class and I'll be good? Can you really just stand up and figure out that I just have to get this essay done and I'll be good? Can you just stand up and figure out that I just gotta hunker down, I just gotta study, I just gotta discipline myself and study for this GRE, kill it, get a good score, and I'll be good. I can stand up because I'm really only drowning in 3 feet of water. So that was the same mindset that got me in. Once I figured that out, everything got easier. So I know how it feels. I know that you're struggling. I know that you got a lot on your plate. I know that you're working. I know that you're trying to hustle and get all these classes in and figure it out. But at the same time, don't let your negative thoughts or your negative feelings that, oh, poor me, I'm the only one going through this, get you down. Because everyone around you is feeling the same way, first of all, and everyone around you is trying to get ahead of you because they're your competition, and everyone around you has their own stuff they're going through, so nobody is going to feel sorry for you. Because they have to take their own GRE, they got to write their own essays, they're trying to get into PT school themselves, and once you figure that out, you will have the mindset to go that much further. You will have the fortitude, or you'll have the grit to get through it. Because you'll figure out that it's really you. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody can really have your license because it's going to have your name on it, and that you got to put in the work to get there, because everybody else is trying to do the same thing. So that's really it. That's really it. You just got to understand. You just got to understand that you got to figure out that what are you really drowning in? What's going on, Justin? Thanks for joining us, my man. You just got to figure out that what are you really drowning in? Is it 2 feet? Is it no water and you're just scared about jumping in the pool? Is it really 10? Is it really 10 feet? Are you really in the ocean by yourself and you need some help? Do you need to reach out to us? Then figure it out. But a lot of times, I think it's the latter. I think that we think that we're going through so much, and that it is so much, that we start to feel sorry for ourselves, that we start to think that we're the only ones going through it, that we start to have a pity party, that we start to get depressed when we don't really need to, and we start to ask like, man, nobody's looking out for me, nobody knows what I'm going through, nobody cares, and nobody this and that, and these excuses and this negative mindset and this spiral just keeps bringing us down. And it keeps bringing us down, and that really gets us nowhere. And it got me nowhere. So you got to change that at the blink of an eye. Understand that no one is crying for you because they have their own things they're crying about. And understand that you can just stand up because in a majority of the cases, you're really only drowning in 3 feet of water, and you can reach out for help, or you can find your footing and just stand up and breathe. So that was the thing that got me in. That was the thing that changed my mindset. I hope it helps a lot of you. If not, you guys know where to find us. Find us on our website. Find us at contactpreptground.com. We're here for whatever you need, but I need you to think about that. I need you guys to think about, what are you really drowning in, and is it really that bad? Is it really that bad? So that's pretty much it. Let me know if you got any questions. Team Live, Team Replay, you know what it is. Drop it in the comments, and we'll answer anything you need. Tag your friends, tag your family, tag anyone who needs to hear this video, and thanks for joining me. See you guys on the next Mic Drop Mentorship. I'll talk to you later.